Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of this week's Tower of God chapter. So, Tower of God 298 and Season 2 Episode 218, we are getting very, very close to that 300, and I think the 300 is going to actually be a big chapter because in the blog, SIU does say, he does tell us that apparently the Baam versus Kaiser fight will be ending next chapter, and it seems honestly, it feels like we have a little bit more to do, but I don't think it's going to end in a traditional one defeating the other sense. I think especially since that's going to happen, I think somebody's going to interfere, something big's going to go down, and we're going to have to focus on something else. Maybe bringing back the Andrasi and Lilial stuff. I think that could end up either one of them defeats the other and Baam and Kaiser have to deal with the repercussions of that. So that may be how it ends. But again, a conclusive ending would be pretty great too, but I just don't see it right now because I still feel like the way the flow of the battle is going, I feel like Baam just gained an upper hand. He has to go after Kaiser now, and then it would feel to me that after that, it would seem like Kaiser would pull out that big, power she's still hiding, the sort of back against the wall stuff that Inietta talked about, and if she pulled out the back against the wall stuff, it would seem like then Baam would have to find a way to beat that, and once he found a way to beat that, then the fight would end. So or maybe even more moving towards Baam making her use that, and whatever she uses then is what defeats Baam. So that could even be true as well. So yeah, we still have a lot of things to see that we're not too clear about in the actual story, but I'll get to talking about this actual chapter part by part. But we start with Baam rushing into attack. Of course, we know at the end of last chapter, or at the end of his part of last chapter, Baam was like, okay, I need to attack, I'm bleeding out, I have no choice at this point, even if it's a trap, and he says that at this chapter, even if it's a trap, I gotta make moves, I gotta go for it, I gotta take some risks, and just have to be okay with some danger, you know? So he risks dealing with that obvious trap, and just goes in, and then Red Greymon remembers, oh yeah, Kaiser has the ability of teleportation. So apparently, in a more detailed way, Kaiser can swap places with Fenrir anytime she wants. So then we get this awesome move where Baam goes in to attack Kaiser, and Fenrir's charging in behind him, and then Kaiser uses the ability to swap places. Baam hits Fenrir, which of course does no damage because Fenrir is sort of an ethereal spiritual wolf thing, and Kaiser is then behind him, wraps the wire around him, and then puts her hand on his back to start the name capturing process. So again, really awesome move. And then Baam uses the thorn, it seems, to absorb Shinsu and then he says he doesn't want to use that ability, but he uses it to break free of the wires and do this badass spin kick thing behind him. And that pretty much stops the name stealing, of course. So when he does the badass spin kick, Kaiser just dodges backwards a little bit, uses her swapping power once again to swap Fenrir into her place where he bites down on Baam's foot, and just, it's really cool. And then, of course, Baam uses the triple dragon move again to try to create some separation between himself and his opponents at this point, because he is having a little bit of trouble right now. And we find out from Kaiser that the swap ability is how she beat Andrasi, because Andrasi was just too confident, didn't completely know the rules, didn't take her time and study up and learn how this all works. So Kaiser was just able to trick her and outsmart her that way. And it seems like she was able to trick her and outsmart her without getting into too much of a heavy fight. So that's interesting as well, and that also shows us why Andrasi was confident that, if I fight her knowing the rules of the tower and knowing that she has this ability, there's a chance I can probably beat her. And that makes sense. I think Andrasi could definitely stand a chance against Kaiser. Do I think she could beat Kaiser? I'm still not 100% certain, but I think she would definitely stand a chance against her knowing the rules. But then again, I really love Kaiser. But then again, this badass sequence of Baam dodging the weapons in Fenrir, and I said it last chapter and maybe even the chapter before with that, I think it looks amazing with Baam just dodging throughout all the weapons, and I think that would be one of the things that would look the coolest animated to me. So once he is doing all that, we have Baam and Kun like thinking how they don't feel the same sort of threat from Kaiser that they felt when he was fighting Joaquin. That Joaquin felt a lot more threatening to them, a lot more powerful to them, and of course I see that Joaquin was like very unjustly strong. Like he was a very, very powerful opponent, the strongest that Baam has likely faced, and he was willing to kill them at any time, and Kaiser's not really seemingly willing to kill them, she just wants to capture them. So definitely Joaquin was a way, way more dangerous enemy, I would think. From there, just trying to remember everything that happened here. They did from Joaquin. And then we have an incredible scene that it's kind of interesting. I really like the art and the way it was done, where Baam is like, I know they're invisible, but I can see the weapons. I can see the flow of the Shinsu itself as the weapons are cutting through it. I can see the Shinsu itself. He's like, I can see everything. I can see the Matrix. So I thought it was really, really cool how Baam just has this sort of connection with Shinsu at this point. He's progressed to that next stage where not only can he just control Shinsu and control it so very well, so naturally, he can even just see it. He can see the flow of it and how it moves around weapons. And I think we've heard about characters able to do that. So, like really, really talented characters and rankers and stuff being able to do that. So it's interesting to see that Baam is at that point now too, where he is so comfortable and adjusted to Shinsu that he can actually see it in a way like that. And he uses his newfound vision to catch one of Kaiser's needles, and he's just like reassured. He's like, okay, I can do this. I believe in myself. It's not impossible. I can find a way and take her down. Now I'm not constricted to using one path. Being able to see these will help me think of a new strategy more easily. Then we just cut to some plumes of erupting Shinsu, and we see waifu Shilial's sword breaking. At least I'm pretty sure that's the tip of her sword breaks off and falls to the ground is what was in that panel. So we see that, and then we see Hatsu with the most freaking badass sword. I freaking love this sword. Well, maybe not the most badass sword. I mean, Krishna is pretty awesome looking, as is Joaquin's sword, but you get what I mean. It's an amazing looking sword. And we find out that it's actually an ignition weapon named Donghae. Ah man, what an unfortunate name, the Donghae. So Hatsu pulls out his dong, and he says it's difficult to wield, but man, the sword just looks amazing. It looks freaking awesome. And also he says at the very end that it's not even ignited yet. So if it looks that badass, like in its sealed form, it's gonna look awesome ignited. So yeah, all of my hype for Hatsu. And at this point, if Hatsu is standing up this well to Shilial, no offense to Inietta, but I'm kind of okay not seeing Inietta versus Hatsu, because I think if Hatsu can stand up this well to Shilial, then he would have destroyed... I mean, it would have been a little bit more difficult than completely destroying him, but I think he would have wrecked Inietta pretty well. I think he would have had an easier time than Ron had, even. So then... Well, I think a couple characters would have had an easier time. I think that is why SIU didn't write certain characters into that place. Like I said, I was kind of disappointing that Ron got so much screen time, and I thought it was a little fan servicey. But then again, there are some other characters that I feel like, I don't know, I would have liked to have seen Rack get a rematch and be the one to defeat Inietta, because I don't know, it just felt weird having Ron do it again. But like, there are certain characters that certainly couldn't have, because I think if SIU had written Boro up against Inietta, I think Boro could have defeated him pretty easily, just because it's what he specializes in. And I feel the same is true with Hatsu. I feel like Hatsu could have relatively easily defeated Inietta, relative to how easy it was for everybody else getting their asses kicked and barely defeating him. So we have all of that, and yeah, all my hype this chapter is just for Hatsu. I have so much hype for him, and Also, I thought it was really funny that Lorei is still on Hatsu's back. He's still just sleeping up there through a fight with a princess. So I really thought that was funny too. And yeah, we got a couple bits of good information in the blog this week. We found out that SIU says that the fight is ending next week. And also we find out that we are close to the season 2 climax. And when he says it's ending next week, I think he means I'm pretty sure he means the Baam versus Kaiser fight. So if that's ending next week, then yeah, we're gonna have other stuff to do. This is pretty sudden, but yeah, he also said we're close to the season 2 climax, which I find really interesting, because I didn't think. I guess we're gonna do more here and then have this be the end of season 2, because we still have to do stuff with the auction and with Jinsung and all that, and the princesses. So I think we're going to have a lot to do here to finish off, be the climax of season 2. I thought that season 2 was going to keep dragging on for another 100 chapters or so in order to include the rest of the Rachel and Joaquin and Floor of Death stuff, but I guess maybe we'll end it here, and then the next one will start, and maybe it'll be like part 3, well, volume 3 or season 3. It would technically be like the 5th part, but the next part would be called like Floor of Death or something like that, maybe. So that's interesting to me. And also SIU hinted at if there's a Donghae, then Hatsu may also have a suh'hae, because apparently, at least I think that's how it's pronounced. It's how it was phonetically spelled. But Donghae means like Eastern Sea or something, and suh'hae means Western Sea. Or maybe I mixed those two up. But either way, like, so if there's one named that, there might be a second, and we know that Hatsu is known for using 2 swords, so I think personally it'd be awesome if he had 2 ignition swords. That'd just be really cool to me. Then the art I thought was really great here. The art was, I mean, the art's always great. I can't say it was a step up, because it's, at this point in time, it keeps getting stepped up and stepped up slowly over time, to where if you go and watch, or go and read the early chapters, and then read the volume 2 chapters, then read the workshop battle chapters, and then read the current ones, there is just, it's huge gaps and improvement you can see there, but over time it's just like every single chapter it's slowly improving, and the art's just great overall. I think the fight maintained its hype pretty well, the Baam and Kaiser fight, and I think the thing I was most pumped for was just seeing Shilial and Hatsu again, and I am way interested in seeing what's going on with them. I'm kind of interested in Andrasi and Lilial, but honestly, personally, I like Hatsu and Shilial more than I like Andrasi and Lilial, because I don't like Lilial all that much. And sorry, but I think I like Hatsu more than Andrasi. All my hype for Hatsu right now. And then one critique I can have for the chapter is that Kun and Red Greymon didn't really have a purpose here. I mean, Baam would have found out when Kaiser used the move anyway, and Kun yelling it out, what her power was, didn't really change the outcome of what happened to Baam in the attack. So I feel as though they didn't really have a purpose in this particular chapter. So I don't know. It's not a huge complaint or anything, but overall I really like this one. Thought the story was really good. I really thought the end was so hype. But other than all that, I don't think that this was some huge blow you out of the water sort of chapter, even though it was great, honestly great. So I'm going to give it 8.5 Donghae's out for Hatsu Rambe out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 sounds fair, because really great, but not really near perfect or anything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. So like if you did like the video, and comment down there and tell me what you guys thought of this chapter. I'm really interested to know, because I feel like some of you might have not thought it was as good as me because nothing really got settled. Some of you might have been more excited and thought it was even better than I did with the new developments for Baam. So interested in see what you guys think. Subscribe for more Tower of God, One Piece, Mahou Shoujo, Ikusei Keikaku, and a bunch more. And yeah, that's it. So follow on Twitter, and thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.